What's up everybody and welcome back to my channel. Now right here on the very front end, I'm gonna not do what you do at the end of the video and thank everybody for watching. I'm gonna thank you out on the front end because if you saw my last video, you met Dwayne, the cable car guru in San Francisco. If you didn't watch that video, be sure to watch it. I'm gonna link it right above. In fact, go ahead and stop what you're doing now and just go watch it because that was a very special video. And while it's only been a few days since that video released, Dwayne called me yesterday to tell me that he had received so many messages and his message request box on Instagram was like so full of people that were just reaching out to him and giving him love and thanking him. And I've been saying since I started this channel a few months ago that there's something special about the community that's here. And I know this community might feel one-sided because I'm talking to you, but you don't necessarily talk back to me unless you're shooting me DMs or in the comments. But one of the reasons why I reply to every comment that I see is because I want to actually dialogue and have a two-way conversation and build a community. And I've been saying since the beginning that I think this community is pretty awesome. And you guys proved that on that latest video with Dwayne just by pouring out love on him. And so that meant everything to me. So thank you to all of my viewers, to all of you on this channel for doing so. You guys are awesome. So let's jump into this topic. Does expensive gear make you more money? Now that question is a little sarcastic because we can all conclude no. The gear doesn't make you more money. Like having the gear is not what drives sales for you. But I did want to make a video that talked about the business of photography because we exist on a spectrum between the right brain and the left brain, the right brain being super artistic and abstract, the left brain being very operational and analytical and logical, and all of us fall somewhere within a spectrum of these two worlds. And I also recognize that not everybody is a full-time creative. You might not be a full-time photographer. You might just be somebody who shoots for fun, or you could be a part-timer or just a side gig photographer. And that's amazing to have the ability to do that. But I definitely think that we all can learn the business side a little better. And I want to make this video because I am a very transparent person and I've been very fortunate to learn from a lot of great full-timers as well as experience a lot of business heartache. And I would love to spare you from some of that same heartache. So I've got a few points that I'm going to make in this video to encourage you about the business side of photography. I'm gonna share with you how I do mine, what I charge, who my ideal clients are, and I invite you to do the same. Now, let me tell you a story. I got a DM from somebody like a year ago who was asking me some business information. Now, this person lives, I don't know, 1,500 miles from me, like halfway across the country. They're just getting started, and they were picking my brain about some business practices. I disclosed all this information to them, and then they said to me, I still laugh when I think about it, "Hey, I just want to tell you I appreciate you disclosing all this information to your competition." And I was like, what? Part of me wanted to write back and say, well, bro, you're not my competition. That's not because I'm better. It's because we all exist as creatives in our own lane. You really can't compare creative A to creative B and the product they create. Now, because money is kind of a zero-sum game, there is competition because all creatives are going after the same deals or brand deals or the same payouts. But to think of yourself on the front end as competition and think competitively, I don't know if that's really the right way to process the business side of this. You want to be smart and business savvy because your business requires it of you, not because you're trying to beat me or anyone else. So for those reasons, I am very transparent about the business practices because I don't see you or anybody else as my competition. My greatest competition is my lack of experience and or my lack of education and or my lack of hustle and or, you get what I'm saying now? Don't get me wrong, I have experience, I have education, I have hustle, but you get what I'm saying. Like the competition is here and here. It definitely is not out there. So with that said, here are a few things that I've learned along the way, either from very great other people who poured into me or through a lot of heartache. And let's kick it off right now with gear, because gear does matter, but only to a certain degree. This right here is the Sony A7RV, Sony's latest and greatest R camera. Before this, as you've heard me talk about before, I had the R4, sold that to a friend to buy this. And before that, I had the R3, still have it on the shelf back there. It was in a horrible accident that I was in. You can watch the video up here on it. I will never get rid of that camera because we went through something together. This camera, brand new, $3,800. Luckily, that's not what I paid for it, and I'll just fully disclose, I am part of a creator community that got early access to this camera for a much cheaper price, and I took advantage of it. On this camera is the 50mm 1.2 GM, and behind it, I just grabbed, I think, my favorite lens that I own, the 135 GM, and this lens is like magic. If we were to take retail prices here, we're gonna land somewhere around maybe $7,000 here. Carry the one. Yeah, maybe 7,000. Let's just say this is a $7,000 kit over here. Over here now, we've got the Leica Q2, the Leica M10R, 50 Summicron on there right now. This kit, if you were buying new retail, you're looking at probably, man, I don't know, 12 grand or so. And again, this is new prices, does not reflect used prices, and Lord knows not what I paid for the stuff over here. But this is some great gear, and this is just a tiny snapshot of my gear. I also have an M6 film camera. I have other lenses for my Leica system. I've got a Pelican case on the floor over here with other Sony lenses, and I'm filming on the A7S III with some great microphones and C-stands and lighting and all these other things. And the question is, do these things make me more money than if I didn't have these and I had different gear? Now, I said on the front end of this video, the answer is no. But I'm gonna put an asterisk by that and say, not really, because gear does matter. It matters in terms of the quality of what you create, it matters in terms of the efficiency in which you can create it, and it matters in variety of what you can create. Those are my three things about gear: quality, efficiency, and variety. For me, my bread and butter in photography historically has been commercial work where I'm shooting a various range of products for brands or tourism for tourism boards like travel stuff. I need the ability to punch into details even if I shoot wider. And sometimes I don't want to carry like a dozen different lenses, and so I might carry two things, knowing full well by shooting on the R cameras, I have the ability to crop at insane levels and still have great, excellent material. So if I'm shooting, let's say, a boot, and that boot has like a very cool textured leather to it, like there's this brand I used to shoot for that had a bison boot, and they had these really cool bison leather on it and incredible texture. Well, I could take a photo of that from like here, but then crop into some crazy fine details without using a macro lens or having to be super close. And then that same shutter click, I could get like three compositions. I could get like kind of a wide, a mid, and a very tight. There's the efficiency part. So the R cameras gave me quality, they gave me some efficiency, and they also gave me variety in one camera body. That's again because I'm doing more commercial work and more tourism board work. So I go to a city that hires and brings me in to go shoot their city. And as I'm wandering around the city, I'm taking photos of different things. Well, maybe they want to focus on a detail of that part of the city. Now, I wouldn't have that knowledge on the front end. I just thought that's a really cool building, but say they want to crop into the windowed storefront at the bottom for an ad on their social media campaign, their website, or they're printing it in their catalog about their city, or a hotel advertisement. We can crop and do that because I use the R cameras. So for me, it's fairly important to have that level of quality in a camera system. And because I'm cropping, I need very sharp lenses because you lose something when you crop. And if you're shooting on lenses that can't keep up with the sensor, then you're cutting yourself off. So in my opinion, shooting the R series without really the finest lenses you can put on it is kind of not helpful. If you're shooting the R series, you might as well just shoot something with lower megapixels that you don't need to crop as much and get the composition right on the front end. But again, I need that variety. I go shoot and sometimes I'm feeling this way, but then I feel a different way. It's great to have variety in gear. And now let's talk about the other side of the table here, because this is variety, just in two different worlds of looks and cameras and systems. This is autofocus, crazy fast, perfect, clinically perfect. Brands love this stuff. This is all character. This is all fun. And this is kind of like a computer with a lens. This is all relying on me in many ways. And I love shooting the Leica system because it requires more of my, I don't know, creativity. It's hard to describe the Leica experience without sounding either really bad at what you do or kind of arrogant. And I hope I am neither. But I like the experience here. Do I get a ton of variety in this system? Not really. I mean, I've got my 28 lens on here. I've got a 50. I also have a 35 and a 90. So I do have some good variety here. But really, my variety comes across the table. But I haven't really used this much for commercial stuff. I use this for my family, for my personal stuff. And this summer, I'll be shooting all Leica for a pretty big commercial thing I've got going on. And I'm gonna be leaving this system in the Pelican case while I'm taking this stuff out. To kind of land the plane on the gear side of it, what's helpful for me and my photography business when it comes to monetizing my gear is quality, efficiency, and variety. Now that said, there are plenty of photographers who make way more money than me shooting one camera and one lens, and that's incredible. I wish I was in their marketplace. So I don't want to hammer on gear much more, but gear is an important part of the business model. Okay, next up, let's talk about clients. If you're just starting out, you should try a lot of different things and see what works and what sticks. If you're further down the road and you know what you like to do and what you don't like to do, then get hyper focused on what you like to do. And really stay away from things you don't like to do, because those things will drain your passion and your energy. They will make you less efficient, and then you will make less money. So for instance, I do not shoot weddings. I can confidently say I'm not going to shoot weddings. I'm never going to look back on this video 10 years from now when I'm a professional wedding photographer. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to shoot weddings. I don't do weddings. I don't even like going to weddings. So I can say with confidence, I'm not going to do a wedding. But I've got a great friend who is in the wedding marketplace. When I get asked, hey Dave, I love your stuff. Would you do our wedding? Or my friend's getting married. Do you do weddings? I say, nope. But let me tell you someone that does. And I refer them out. In fact, I just did that this past week, and my friend just signed a contract for a wedding next year. Pretty awesome. And I'm so happy for that. And they say creatives compete with each other. Now, what if you support one another? Come on. So I can say with certainty, there are things I'm not going to do and that I will not enjoy doing. But there is a variety of things I do enjoy doing. Like before this season of my life, I really enjoyed commercial photography. I love product stuff. I like shooting things on people, but not focusing on the people. And it's funny because today I'm having way more fun shooting the people and not so much the products. In fact, I've really stepped out of the product side in a lot of different ways. And I'm doing a lot more local stuff now here in the Bay Area, shooting more portrait sessions, connecting with more creatives, doing more fashion stuff. And that's kind of like been what I've done for probably the past 6 months or so. And I've put aside the product, the brand stuff. And honestly, in this season, that's given me life and I'm having a great time doing it. So why not pour fuel on that fire and book more portrait sessions when historically I didn't do portrait sessions that often, but now I'm booking them like crazy because I am enjoying it. So I'm chasing that. Don't feel like you're in a box, but definitely box yourself into something you love. I hope that makes sense. Okay, let's talk about money, because I told you I was gonna tell you what I charge. For some reason, that information is either like public on a website with no context a lot of times, or explaining why, like why that photographer charges that, or it's like reach out and get a quote. You might be uncomfortable with this part of the conversation because perhaps you are an elder millennial like me or older. You were told never talk about money, but how does that help you out? Okay, so I'm gonna go pretty deep into this, okay? I'm gonna say on the front end, there are a lot of different ways to price your photography. I watched another photographer, a creator who I think is amazing, and she breaks down like how she does all of her pricing. She actually prices her gear in her shoots as well. Like she rents her gear to herself for her shoots. It was pretty wild stuff. I don't do that. I try to do a model that I would want as a customer in 2023. I charge for my time and I charge for my experience. I do not do upsells. I do not sell prints, but I have incredible repeat business and referrals because I sell an experience of shooting with me and I sell my time to come shoot. Of course, there's licensing, and I have some license deals out there but I don't like that. And in fact, I'd rather you buy my time and just me give you the images you paid for on the front end, and then we shake hands, and when you want a new image, you reach back out to me because that's what you want to do. I do have an image that's licensed with a major national retailer, and every year they renew it, which is amazing, but that's not what I'm chasing down. So here's how I arrived at what I charge. I take into account my personal experiences. I take into account my proven experiences, which are demonstrated by my portfolio. I take into account what I personally have invested into my gear and equipment. I take into account the radius in which I'm comfortable traveling in without charging somebody for traveling. So for me, it's the entire Bay Area, but the Bay is huge. But I'm willing to drive an hour or so without making someone pay for it. And I take into account my time, which time is like the only thing that is not fluid. Time is spent and then it is gone. You're gonna give me 20 minutes maybe if you watch this whole video. You're never getting that 20 minutes back. So I take this video pretty serious and I wanna make sure it's worth your 20 minutes. Money comes and goes, other things come and go, gear comes and goes, but time never comes back. You're gonna pay a premium for my time. Because time is a zero-sum game. Time with you is time away from my family or other clients or other you get what I'm saying? Like, it's a zero-sum. If I give it to you, no one else gets it. And for my time, I charge a day rate of $2,500 a day, 8 hours of my time. I cut that day rate in half if necessary, and I bring that day rate to $1,250 if you want to book 4 hours with me. And if you continue to chase that down, you arrive at like $312.50 an hour is what I charge. The bottom end is $325 per hour until you hit the half day mark, and then it's $1,250 or $2,500. On my website, I list what I will deliver per hour in those different blocks. So for instance, at 1 hour, you might get X. At a 2-hour shoot, you might get Y. And then a 4-hour, 8-hour shoot. And I really break down like what you can expect. Like a portrait session is never gonna be a day rate. That's gonna be like a 2-hour thing at most. I say, who is the 1 hour for? Who is the 2 hour for? Because I wanna help a client completely understand what I'm going after and make it easy for them. I'm not gonna try to sell a half-day shoot to somebody that wants birthday photos. You know what I mean? And I don't know if I don't do birthday photos, but you get what I'm saying. That would be unethical and kind of sleazy. So instead, if someone reaches out to me and they ask me for my rate, I find out what they wanna do, and then I have a pre-made page on my website that I send them to, and I say, here's what you can expect, here's what's typically done in that amount of time. That's it. I keep it real simple. For me, $2,500 felt like it represented my portfolio, my experiences, and my time in this season of life. And I'm gonna reevaluate that as business comes in, as business slows down, that rate may go up or down. As my time gets more valuable or more personal to me, that rate may go up or down. It feels good right now. If you're the praying type, be praying for 5 full days a month for me. Or like maybe we can get to 5 full days a week. Could you imagine? Oh my gosh. 5 full days a week, I'm gonna hire like 20 of you and we're gonna start our own like agency and do this thing. Okay, so to land the plane on this video, because this literally could be an e-course, it could go on for like hours. Gear matters, it just does. How you price yourself and how you treat your clients, it matters. Your time matters. And ultimately, at the end of the day, your business matters. And so you gotta take it serious. If you don't know something, go learn it. And if you want more information on anything that I've shared, ask me and I will tell you point blank, because we are not competing with each other. I have nothing to hide. And if anything that I've experienced will help you reach your goals and be in a better place, then by all means, please reach out. It would do my heart great to help you. We're all in this together, creatives. Do the YouTube thing. If this video was helpful for you, like it, leave a comment, not because of the algorithm, but because I truly would love to reply to you. I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to tell you mine, either affirm what you're saying. If you have counterpoints, let's hear them, because I don't know everything and I would love to hear from you as well. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day, night, morning, evening, wherever you are, whatever time it is, have a good one.